Have you wondered if time or new relationships can heal deep betrayal wounds? In my experience as a hypnotherapist, it's not the case. I see clients with betrayal wounds, stuck in emotions connected to betrayal many years post-betrayal. Today, processing emotions of adult betrayal trauma, stages of betrayal trauma, can you recover? Dangers of being stuck with unprocessed emotions. I have a question from a mother of one. She went through betrayal 7 years ago. Now she's entering new relationship. She's very much in love and is excited to build a new relationship. But she gets triggered by her ex. These triggers show up unexpectedly and overwhelm her emotionally and painfully, bringing strong feeling of fear, sadness, and betrayal back. She feels like she's back in the past when the whole thing happened. And she said that she thought she had been through all that. She's over that, but it seems to be back. Why this is happening? This is the case of unprocessed emotions connected to the betrayal trauma. And the fact that emotions come up so powerfully and so strongly right now might indicate that you were stuck, or this mother was stuck in a survival stage of the process of betrayal trauma, unable to move towards healing and recovery. Let's acknowledge this simple fact. Betrayal causes complex PTSD, severe stress, severe post-traumatic stress disorder. And we can get stuck in those powerful emotions. Your body goes into shock on all levels. You can experience complete shutdown. You turn on trauma response. Fight, flight, fawn, freeze, or a complex combination of those powerful reactions. They're different for different people. In this video, I would like to introduce Dr. Debi Silber's 5 stages of post-betrayal trauma response. I will link her podcast here, and she's really great at explaining the research on betrayal trauma, what happens in each stage, and how it is possible to heal and recover. It will be very useful for those who are going through this right now. But I speak with you as a practitioner of trauma and complex trauma. I often see clients who get stuck and couldn't process big emotions of trauma. They get stuck in post-traumatic stress response and toxic stress response, including traumatic betrayal stress response. This is basically when you run high levels of chronic and toxic stress in your system and you have not been able to deal with those reactions, have it recovered, and now, maybe many years later, as this particular mother, the emotions are back. The pain is flared up and it hits you hard. So, first let's look at those 5 stages. And as we go through them, I will offer some examples from my experience as a hypnotherapist working with complex PTSD and toxic stress response. So Dr. Debi offers 5 stages of post-traumatic betrayal stress response. Stage number 1, ignoring your gut instinct that something is wrong, when you focus on the physical, mental, and ignore emotional and spiritual. This is when you sense something is wrong or out of whack with your partner, but you ignore those signs. Later on, clients beat themselves up and they often bring up that fact that they didn't listen to their own instinct. They beat themselves up for that. They start obsessing about this fact that they were not able to read the signs. It's like when they go into a new relationship, They will start picking on things to interpret from that angle of what if something goes wrong and I will miss it. That is what's happening with this mother. Stage number 2, you're blindsided. So you have a lot of ruminating thoughts. How could I have been so stupid? Not noticing the signs, for example. You constantly have looping thoughts about the betrayal experience. Your whole world breaks into pieces. You lose trust in yourself and the betrayer. You question everything. You question your worldview, your view on marriage, the relationship itself, yourself in this relationship. Life becomes surreal. You're constantly emotionally, severely overwhelmed and sustain high acute levels of stress. You experience this high level of stress that can stop you from taking basic care of yourself, like eating, sleeping, exercising. You lose focus, concentration. You might experience memory lapses. And a lot of clients turn to substances to self-medicate or manage these overwhelming levels of stress. You might experience night terrors, nightmares and flashbacks. And your head is exploding with millions of questions about yourself, your worth. You get stuck in constant rumination and endless thought loops. Stage number 3, the practical stage, as Dr. Debi calls it. It is your survival stage, when you buckle up and go on with life in whatever form life presents itself to you now. You have financial commitments, a job, mortgage, kids to look after, so you just have to survive and put those big feelings and emotions at the back burner. To survive, you have to push down those big painful emotions and self-doubt. This is where most of the people I see get stuck. They're stuck with those deeper, darker thoughts and feelings about life and themselves. And with this mother, the fact that she was triggered so painfully by her ex 7 years post-betrayal, she started having flashbacks, indicates on this need to keep moving through with this toxic response to process those emotions. Look at the places where you got stuck. She was stuck, for example, with the blame, and it was eating her up. She was stuck with not trusting herself, with the choice of a new partner, scared that she would repeat the experience of betrayal. Also scared that her vision of a marriage life will be shattered just like it was the first time. Look, it's important to acknowledge that when your marriage dies, it is death and huge loss. You need time to grieve what you lost, as you lost a lot. It takes time, it takes work. Grieving energy needs to move through as you need it to. This is a theme with grieving. But the way a lot of people stop the process of grieving of their marriage is to have a target and misplace this energy into something else, like anger, blame, judgment, self-pity, and being a victim. Those states deprive you of your right to keep moving. These states are unhelpful, keep you further in pain, and keep you stuck. Let's move to stage number 4. This is when you adjust to your new normal. As you move through the stages, you learn to let go. You will start adjusting to a new life in a healthier way, to a new you. You grow the most in the places where you break. Please trust this. For example, when a client of mine experiences high levels of jealousy towards the ex and gets stuck there, through moving forward, they create new acceptance or turn anger into calmness. This is the time when you stop clinging to the old and start rebuilding, start building something new. And there is a lot of power in it because you become more single-minded. Stop being divided in your time and energy, and you start putting the energy and those emotions of letting go, using your resources, time, into rebuilding and creating a new normal in a healthier way. Stage number 5 is rebirth. Rebirth. This is where you see choice, and choice is power. You see that stuckness is not an option and not a life sentence. It's not a solution to this. You move through stages of betrayal trauma. You are doing your processing of all complex and deep emotions connected to the experience. And in my sessions, I help clients process emotions connected to trauma, complex stress response, including betrayal response, stress response. If you have any questions, please reach out.